Hey, hey, dear beloveds. I can tell it's getting towards the end of the day for me because this is the time of day where I like to take everything off. All my jewelry, all my bling, even my clothes, and put on my pajamas. And I just looked at myself then and I'm like, I really want to take everything off right now, but I've got one more live to do. So we're going to do this live. I'm going to keep my bling on, my fabulous House of Dizzy earrings. I'm going to keep on my clothes, I promise. And we're going to talk about why people are nowhere near as intuitive as they could be, and why they don't know that. So it's not just a matter of like, oh, I've made a choice not to tune into my intuition in a really big way, or I've made a choice to, be this much intuitive. I think what happens is we actually think that we've reached the capacity for our intuitive ability or our intuitive intelligence. So we rest on our laurels. We're like, okay, well, I'm this good and that must be what God gave me, this amount of intuition, and therefore I'm just going to sit at home and be this much intuitive. And, life is mostly good and I mostly have the things that I want and mostly I feel happy some of the time at least. No. We have it all so wrong. We are so confused about what intuition is. So let's put aside the people that don't even know they're intuitive, because that's not who I'm talking to right now. I'm talking to you. I'm talking to these incredible women who know they're intuitive, probably tune into their intuition, probably even trust their intuition, and at least some of the time make choices from that place, even when it scares the shit out of them. Yeah, I know that I'm talking to at least some of you today. So what I want to say about that is that you and I, because we're all guilty of it, me included, have got this idea in our heads very often that our intuition is capped, or that there is only so much of it that we can access, and therefore there's only so much of it that we can, there's only so much power that we can possess in terms of our intuition. And I guess I really, really, really want us to put that idea down now. We are infinite, unlimited consciousness. Look, I'm going to show you. I wrote it on the front of my book. Are you willing to surrender to your unlimited self? That question is the core question at the heart of intuition. And yet it's not the question that we ask when we go to increase our intuition. We still consider it to be this kind of separate trinket or superstition. We do not think of it as a measure of our awakening. Okay, this is what I want to get to. Your intuition is in your life in proportion to the level of spiritual self-esteem that you possess. Now, I've had someone quite well known in the coaching world take me to task over this and say, I know plenty of intuitive women. I shouldn't do that. I should be more kind. I know plenty of intuitive women, Ricky, who have really low self-esteem. And I want to be like, okay, that's interesting. So they've reached a certain level of intuitive ability, but they're not doing the work, the deep work of meeting their unconscious and subconscious fear, including their lack of self-worth and their low spiritual self-esteem, which simply means they've forgotten what they are, which is God. Therefore, their capacity to access their intuition is capped. You cannot sit in feelings of low self-esteem and be the full expression of your God nature. These are two opposing forces and they will destroy each other. You can't try to do both things at the same time, okay? So why is this so important to me? We put spiritual self-esteem and the development of spiritual self-esteem at the center of everything that we teach as part of the third level, because until you are willing to honor the truth that you are God and live from that place, the pursuit of your intuition is an empty pursuit. You're just going after another spiritual trinket and superstition like a party trick. You just want that kind of little superficial toy that will help you get a rock star car park, or maybe help you make a difficult decision in your life, or what business to start. But you're missing the point of intuition. And I'm saying you, but I mean all of us. The point of intuition is as a measure of how connected are we to our infinite nature. And the end point of intuition is that there will be no intuition, because we will be one with the language that is communicating with us. We are one with the one mind, so completely immersed in it that we don't need that bridge. We don't need that language to communicate with us. If I'd known I was going to get so ranty, I would have taken these off, because they are flying in all directions. So let me clarify, just to go back a step to what I'm saying. If you are pursuing your intuition, or if you think you've reached the capacity that you have for intuition, and you are still sitting in feelings of low self-worth, or your life is not 100% abundant, joyful, and that's not the same for everyone. I'm not talking about financial success. I'm not talking about moving furniture in a burning building. Then you are simply deluding yourself, because a fully turned on intuitive intelligence that you are completely absorbed into, that is in your life in every single way. Hey, the dog wants to go outside. Shall I let him out? Will, that will be the best possible indicator that your intuition is at its full capacity. If your life is constant bliss and joy. I'm just going to let him out because he's hard to ignore. Always during the lives, Rufus. I think he gets the energy and he gets excited and then he needs to pee. So what I want to clarify and say again is that if it is impossible for you, you don't have to be there yet. You don't have to be 100% knowing that you're God and loving yourself sick and feeling like your life is exactly where you want it to be. But please don't stop trying. Please don't stop moving in the direction of that. Intuition is in fact a byproduct of that, not the other way around. And so when I see people just teaching intuition for intuition's sake, I'm like, this is really irresponsible, because one of two things is going to happen. That person's life is going to be imploded because they didn't realize that opening to their intuition would mean they would have to meet all of their shadow stuff. Or the other thing will happen is that their lives will just become so incredibly, overwhelmingly glorious. But either way, the vessel or the container of that pursuit of intuition for intuition's sake, that kind of container, that program, will not scaffold that person to break through to the highest levels of truth of what they are. So what I believe is vital as we go in pursuit of our intuition is that we recognize that that is simply going to be a byproduct. Intuition is what you are. You are already you are one with the one mind. You are already in deep and holy communion with the infinite all of the time. You have simply forgotten. And your fear of not being that is what keeps you in the forgetting. So what we have to do is actually meet our fear of not being God, of not being the goddess, of not being the infinite consciousness. And the intuition takes care of itself. But that's not how we train intuition. That's not how other people train intuition. It's sure as shit how I train intuition, because I've seen what happens when we go after the carrot without doing the work. And the carrot is kind of like, oh, intuition, I want more of that. That's shiny. Oh, nice special magic tool I can impress my friends with. That's a very silly, superficial way to talk about it. But let's just go with that idea. We need to look at the idea that the work is being done by meeting your shadow, by meeting your fear, by sitting with the discomfort and being willing to go towards that. I'm missing all the comments. So what I want to just do, I'll just check that I'm getting it all right here and I haven't missed anything. Beautiful. What I want you to take away from this ranty, earrings flying in all directions, dog interrupting, high energy, high vibing live is that you are already the most intuitive, most intimately connected with God being on the planet. There is nothing like you, but you have forgotten that. And in the forgetting, you have disconnected from your power. And intuition is a symptom of awakening power. Intuition is a symptom of waking up. Intuition is not the end goal. So please stay away from things that promise you that you'll become this amazing channel or this amazing intuitive, or that you'll be able to read tarot, or that you can commune with crystals, because they are all simply the trinkets and superstitions of a dream. I just went live in my group, I'm Spiritually Fierce, and we talked about the fact that we are in a dream of separation. And whilst we move furniture in the burning building of the dream, we're missing the point entirely. Our job is to learn about how to train our consciousness, to elevate our consciousness throughout of the dream so that we can inhabit the dream knowing the truth of what it is. Our job is not to become so kind of, I guess, addicted to the trinkets and superstitions that are just part of the illusion. No matter how beautiful those illusions are, they will not take you to where you are being invited to go by your intuition, which is to meet yourself as infinite, unlimited consciousness. And why do I think people are so drawn to the trinkets and superstitions? Because they never have to meet themselves in the fullness of their power. They never have to meet themselves as God. And by golly, if some people, some people will spend their whole lives avoiding their power. They will avoid themselves at any cost. And so my work is to bring you face to face with the truth of what you are, dear sister. And that is something that I will never shy away from. So one thing I want you to do today, in order to accelerate your awakening intuition, if that's where you're at, if that's what you want, or to increase your spiritual self-esteem, is simply to spend some time each day going into heart congruence and spending time in that state where, beyond ideas, you elevate your vibration. You intentionally encode your reality by elevating your vibration. And I'm going to take us through that just to end out this very ranty live, because I want to immerse you in the experience of what it is to be in a heart congruent state. This practice is drawn from the practice of heart coherence by Heart Math Institute, but I've changed it and adapted it, so I call it heart congruence. And it's a very beautiful, very simple practice, but because it's simple, we will often ignore it, and I don't want you to ignore it. It's simply the most powerful tool that we have. And in fact, yesterday I was reading in Mind Over Matter by Dawson Church that there is evidence, scientific evidence, that if you try to set intentions without being in a coherent or congruent state, your intentions have no power. Like, mind-blowing scientific evidence. If you want to create change in your life, you need to be in coherence or congruence before you set intentions. Now, if that doesn't change everything about your life right now, you're not hearing what I'm saying. If you want to see your intentions come to life, you need to be in a coherent or congruent state before you start setting intentions. And to use Joe Dispenza's language, we need to go into the void, the emptiness, before we start trying to order things up from God. Eventually you'll stop trying to order things up from God, because you'll understand the truth of what you are and you will trust God. And in fact, do you want a preview of my next tattoo that I'm getting on Tuesday? Because it's so beautiful. I have a number of different drawings from my friend Carla Fletcher, who's an artist, but I think I'm going to go with the top one. I trust God. There is no more important statement for me at this point in my life than this. And of course, as you know from my previous tattoos, if it matters to me, I get it tattooed on my body. So that's happening on Tuesday, along with something else, but I won't reveal that one just yet. That one's for me, just for the moment. So if you're willing to join me right now, I'll take you into this very simple, very deliberate, very intentional, laser-like consciousness encoding practice that is not relaxation, it is not meditation, it's not visualization, it's how we change our frequency. And when we understand the true nature of what we are, that is all we need to do in order to move ourselves out of low feelings of self-worth and to get closer to that intuitive powerhouse that we truly are. All right. If you're safe to do so, closing down your eyes. If not, just fix your gaze on a point, just a soft focus, moving your attention away from the superficial world. Taking a deep breath in, letting it go out through the mouth. Letting go of all the effort required to bring you to this point in your day. Just letting your breathing be slightly extended, in and out through the nose. And with eyes closed and breath deepened, we're signifying to our nervous system that we're very safe. We can withdraw our attention from the superficial world to the world within the world. As we move out of that high beta brainwave state, that incoherent state, and we slow down into alpha, the bridge between the analytical and the intuitive mind. Now taking the palm of your hand or two fingers to the center of your chest, Letting your consciousness know that we defer now to the wisdom of the heart brain. Now please follow everything that I say exactly as I describe it, because this is a very intentional consciousness encoding practice. I want you to use your brilliant imagination to conjure up an image of something that brings you feelings of gratitude, appreciation, or joy. Stay away from anything complicated or unresolved. Stay focused on something that is simple and pure in the way that it brings you feelings of gratitude or joy. A sunflower, a perfect cup of coffee, finishing work for the day, walking out in the fresh air, whatever it is, keep it very simple and pick one image. Bring all of your mental energy to this image. And you're going to stay focused on that image so that these feelings of gratitude or joy or appreciation that this image evokes can build in you. Wave upon wave, growing, building, feeling as though you're filling a bubble or a balloon and it's expanding as you hold your consciousness totally on that image, letting those feelings rise and swell and expand in you. We're going to move into silence just for a minute or so now, and I want you to keep coming back to that mental image. If you find your mind wandering, just keep coming back to that single point of focus with laser-like precision. Keep the breath extended but soft, and feel those feelings, feeling that balloon, that bubble surrounding you, holding your consciousness on this single point as we move into silence now. Keep bringing your mind back. Keep filling that bubble with those feelings of gratitude and joy. Stay present. Let those feelings build and know that what we do together, when we're gathered with others doing the same thing, no matter how far apart, we exponentially increase the power and potency of that work. Right now, no matter where you are in the world, you are getting closer to your infinite nature just by holding your attention on this image, by holding your feeling on gratitude and bliss. You are changing your frequency intentionally, and the universe will match you. The universe changes to match you. Your energy right now, your frequency, is an invitation to bring more of the same to it. And that is always true. Take a deep breath in now, lower your hand to your lap, and exhale out through your mouth with an audible sigh. When you're ready, blinking open your eyes And I want you to know that in that very simple, seemingly simple practice, you've done more to increase your intuition and to change your life than in 4 days of straight normal meditation. In fact, you've also got younger, you've produced more telomerase, which is the chemical that grows the telomeres, which are what are on the end of your chromosomes, and when they divide, they shorten, and that's what causes aging. You've just increased your telomerase. You have taken yourself closer to that vibration, that true frequency of the God nature, which is your truth. And that sitting in that emptiness, that space of just cultivating a feeling state for no external evidence, has done more. Like, you're not looking for a reason outside of you to feel good. You are cultivating that state. And that has done more to increase your intuition than any workshop that you can do, any program that you can study that says, I'm going to increase your intuition for you, any crystal that you can buy. And to go to your question, Shannon, that's a brilliant question. Nothing, in my opinion, in the physical body, which is an illusion and an aspect of the dream, needs to change in order for us to ascend to that infinite nature. However, doing practices like heart coherence will decalcify your pineal gland, make you younger, help you lose weight, help you move through your addictions, help you, attain health in every single way, because we're starting at the truth of what we are, which is vibration and frequency, not trying to change physical matter. So that's what I wanted to share with you today. I'm so deeply grateful for those of you who've tuned in and stayed with me through that practice. Those who skipped out on that practice are not 3 years younger. We are, they're not. But I'm just so grateful for you letting me talk about what I love to do, and for showing up and listening to that on this Friday afternoon, or whatever time it is for you, because it really matters. It matters to me what the third level is and the training that I'm offering to women, because it is unlike anything else out there. And it is not simply about going for the dangling carrot of increased intuition and thinking that that's what this is all about. I want you to meet yourself as God, as the goddess, as infinite unlimited consciousness, to change the world, because the world needs its spiritual leaders, and it needs them in right action, in Dharma. And if you are ready for that, my dear sister, this is your invitation. There are only a few interview times left, and I want you to come along and just make the time to talk to me. Spend half an hour with me. Let's hang out. Let's find out if this is the next best step for you. But please don't wait thinking that something has to happen in order for you to be ready. You are already the most intuitive, most connected powerhouse on the planet. All I can do is help remove those blocks, and by golly, I will help you remove those blocks. All my love, dear beloveds, I will share the information on how you can book your interview. Please don't hesitate. And thank you for hanging out with me, and I hope that practice was valuable to you, and I hope we get to hang out again soon. Bye.